Say what? Look.
It's the new OGs. The new OGs is a State Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people in Illinois get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, you can raise the value of your home, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a black-owned company. They're a SunPower dealer, an American panel maker with over 30 years of solar experience, and they even have a referral program that pays out as much as $500 per referral. So get over to www.gosolarmasters.com.
Got it!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, nice. He's reined it in. Did you hear that?
I stepped away from the mic.
It's the closest thing to an
I
inside
watched
voice
Patti
you're gonna
LaBelle.
get.
I watched Patti LaBelle singing it live in concert on a video last night. And I saw her do this. So
You are a Patti LaBelle-ish kind of character on this show. Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure that the people listening to what you just said, and that little commercial of yours,
Right.
understood everything, got everything right. It sounded like you said that if they go solar, they can save money every month for the rest of the time they own their home
Every
on their
month.
electric bill.
Yep.
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 It sounded like you said that by participating in this, we will be participating in trying to help the environment a little bit.
Helping the environment. Yes, absolutely. You're playing your part.
And you could possibly refer somebody, and if they qualify and they get it, you get $500 every single time.
Even if you don't have a home, you can refer somebody, and if they go solar, you get $500. Now, obviously, you should probably check with them before start giving out their number.
Man, that's a way better way to get money than suing bitches for abortions in Texas. That is a way better way to get $10,000.
I mean, it seems more reputable. You know what I mean? It seems like a kind of, if you want to make $500 without having to try and go after some lady who is trying to get rid of a kid she didn't want, get over to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in contact for a free consultation or to refer somebody that you know. We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. That is the network that we are on right now.
People.
Get over to People of Comedy on Facebook. See all the great shows offered there. Check in daily as they have new, fresh podcasts you can watch and listen to wherever you listen to pods. That's how I know you did it well. When the song's fading out by the time I'm getting to the end, I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, we killed it this time.
That's what's up.
What's going on? It is a Friday. We are going to get this in because our producer, our lovely producer, James Webb, has got his show Stand Up, which is returning tonight, motherfuckers.
Yes, sir.
Back tonight, bitches. Where you at? If you're in Chicago, Stand Up. Who's on the show tonight, James?
We got Blake Burkhart headlining.
Love
Blake is
BB.
great.
Love
Boy.
BB. Blakey boy.
Blake is great.
It's a stacked show.
He's grown so much as a comic too.
He was.
He just cracks me up,
I think
man.
I might
I
have
love
a
him.
date with him in Wisconsin.
That's
It's
what's
going to
up.
be a great
Hell
show.
yeah.
Fun story about Blake. He was my very first intern at Stand Up
Get outta
8
here.
years ago.
Really?
He's come a long way since. We've got
man.
we've also got Pat Tomasulo on the lineup. We got Erica Nicole Clark. We got Jenna Gephardt. And we got Eric Emerson, Mo Good, and a goodbye to Bobby Buds. So this is the place.
This is beautiful.
the
so
place
long
to be.
to Bobby Buds.
Send me Bobby.
The
you
so
want-
Send me Bobby
long
Buds.
to Bobby Buds.
If you want to come to the show, go to standupstandup.net for tickets. If you put in the code VIP, you can get $5 tickets.
That's pretty sweet. $5 tickets, and they're live tonight in Chicago. So if you're catching this in Chicago, and if you here's the deal. Obviously, this is live now. If you're not tuned in, if you're not in Chicago, you can't get there tonight. Maybe that's a thing. But go to standupstandup.net and keep your eye out for the next show that they've got coming on, because you're doing shows every 2 weeks now. Is that what the deal is?
We are going back to monthly for now, just because of COVID
Monthly,
stuff.
right?
But
Smart.
but
I
we
like
are.
that.
but we're looking. We're gonna see what the landscape looks like in a couple of months here, and figure it out.
Yeah.
Bobby Buds is leaving. He's a weird little dude. I love him though.
He's the best.
I mean, he's one of the interesting characters of Chicago.
When we start enslaving white people, I might help him on the underground on the Underground Railroad for white people. I might help him get out of the
I
city.
don't know if he'll be helpful to you.
No.
He's gonna get caught again anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But I wouldn't turn him in. I wouldn't be like, get that little nigga. I'd be like, don't hide, man.
For real?
Oh my god!
I might be like, you want an easy one? This is an easy one.
That's why I help him, because I feel bad. It's like shooting a deer that's already wounded or something.
Well, that brings along a great question: is that if we're gonna start enslaving white people, are you also enslaving Jews? Is that where do you draw the line at white people? Is the question?
It's gonna depend on just how down you are. That's all it is. I down yours. There's Jews on both sides of that.
What's going on with your week, man?
There's a lot of Candace Owen Jews that are Candace Owens friends.
Before we create a situation in which one of us will lose a job in 6 months, why don't we find out what's going on with your week? What's happening with you, man?
What's happening with me, man? I had a solid week. I almost lost my shit. I know you've been telling me that T-Mobile just bear with them. It's gonna come around.
Yeah.
They almost caught the verbal hands this morning. So
This morning.
I'm not gonna give the whole thing. Let's just say I've had some issues since I've transitioned. You guys know about them. Backstory for the people watching: they just fucked up.
Transitioned with the Sprint T-Mobile merger.
From Sprint to Sprint T-Mobile merger.
Right.
I had Sprint. I switched over.
It's a new day. You can't just be saying transition without some backstory. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Yes, fair enough. It took a long time to do. It was problematic. They double charged me. They charged me full for my Sprint bill and full for my T-Mobile bill, like 2 days apart. And so I didn't say, I told them about it, but I didn't make a big deal. I said, I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to work this out. It's only been a couple months. So they sent me my money back, but they sent it to me on a debit card. Right? And I'm like, I sent you motherfuckers money. I sent you like a cash that was like, you could have done whatever you wanted to do. Like, and it's a debit card that it had a $3 a month fee. So they was gonna charge me if I didn't spend the money that they had to pay me that they took. I mean, I shouldn't even say I overpaid. They just took the shit out of my account. So I'm like literally the blood is boiling, but I like to be calm before I snap off somebody, because when I snap off, I want to make sure I'm snapping off for the right reason. Right, so I look at the bottom and it says I can have this funds transferred to my account. So I was like, okay, that's an extra step, but fuck it.
Right,
I'm
with
do
you.
That.
So far, I'm with you. Right.
I do all this thing to register the card, do all this stuff to get, everything's good. I go to click the thing that says transfer the funds, and it only says it's a check, and it's going to be like 6 weeks to come. Nigga. Oh my God. If I was in a T-Mobile store, I'd have stolen them. It'd have been a retail worker that caught unnecessary
We'd have been like, X is not with us today.
Yeah. But you may have seen the TikTok / internet sensation. Big man snaps in T-Mobile store.
Now listen, some of that I've known people who've been in companies that have been swallowed up, and I've been a part of some companies that bought. Like, I know that when there's a merger, especially like Sprint and T-Mobile, there's gonna be some times, there's gonna be some, especially early on, where there's gonna be some fuck ups with billing and shit like that. Just they gotta. But I don't know about this check thing.
They fixed it,
right?
So that's the only reason why they end up fixing. They transfer the money. It'll be there like next week.
They fixed it in the worst way. Yeah. Oh, so you did get in contact with them when they were.
I
so here's my thing about T-Mobile is like every time I've had an issue where I've been like, oh, I got to get this thing straightened out, they've just been like, oh yeah, sure, we'll fucking get your shit straightened out. Like they're not perfect in that. Like nothing ever is like a miss, or there's never been a thing I've had to straighten out. Which I've also only had a couple things to deal with in the time I've had them, but also like their results have just been like.
I have to agree with you that every time that I had both. I had like the both like.
You get mad, right?
I was ready, but I worked in sales for a large portion of my life. I understand that the person that you talk to initially probably isn't the person that it caused this, or definitely isn't the person that caused this.
Right.
Let's just give them an opportunity to see if they could do something. So I did not unload on the woman. I just told her what happened, and that's exactly what she did. She was like, oh. Yeah, the website's malfunctioning. Here, let me fix it. And she fixed it, and it was fixed before I got off the phone. So I come all the way around to say that you are right, actually, so far about T-Mobile. Even though I've had all these little things, every time I've had a moment to just be like, you get mad because you're like, my shit's not working. I want to work it right now. And then you come up and like, no problem. We'll just make your shit work right now. And then all of our phones, we did the transfer. I think I might owe like $300 on phones. That's it, because the kid got a fucking iPhone 12. But other than that, I owe $300. But my point in saying that is, I owe the amount I owe is so small that leaving them is not a fucking problem. Everybody, all the other carriers will gladly accept that. That $300, nigga, we got you. Come on.
Yeah, they would definitely take that money to get you back over to them.
So even though they fixed everything, they are about like one more fucking problem before I start hollering at.
Well, here's the thing, though. Now you've all got your phones, right? Everybody's money's about to be right. They're getting all that shit straightened out. So all this left is just paying the bill, right?
Yeah. The bill is right.
This is where they shine. This is where they shine. Rob, what's going on with you, man? What's the happening?
Hey man, my OG moment of the week, right? I had ran into a dude I went to grade school with when I was in Chicago, and the brother just got married. And the thing about the cat was, man, he beat up every nigga in the 7th grade. Like I'm saying, everybody had a chance for him to beat him up. And the thing was, back in the 7th grade, it didn't really matter what happened. But once you got body slammed, and everybody went, oh.
It didn't matter what happened after that. Yeah, you might as well stop.
Right? And I was pretty well suited to take a slam, right? So when he grabbed me, I just grabbed him by the head, just started hitting him. And that's when you used to wear them spike bracelets and shit. So I said, well, fuck it. If I'm going down, I'm finna bust your shit open before y'all hit the ground, right? So I'm just, yank. I hit the ground, bam, he can get up. And I look up at him, and he just stood there holding his head. And everybody else is like, oh, now ain't nobody noticed that he got a little bit of pain in his head. They just he's laying there with the spikes on my knuckles and shit. Well, that dude now is a community activist.
Oh, God.
That dude is Antifa now. He is.
So he cleaned up his life and started beating up niggas and started helping the community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
After he took some spikes to the head.
Man. Yeah, he was a rough dude. I'm saying, like, but this one was so funny. So his father was still around, right? So when we got into the fight, they brought us into the office and they called his father. My father wasn't at home, and his father came in there and was like, you two motherfuckers gonna start some shit. I was in my garden and shit, and y'all come on. You better hug right now. And I was like scared as hell. I was scared of him. He was scared of me now because he's scared of his dad. Like, I want to hug this nigga. You know? So we became the best of boys, man. Right?
That's funny.
Dude, that used to happen a lot back in the day.
Of course.
That used to happen a lot back in the day. You know that there's a stereotype of black fathers not being around, but all of us had our fathers in our life in different degrees, but definitely had our fathers in our life. And that is a thing that I remember. If you got into a fight and your dad or one of my uncles were around, at the end of the fight, we had to either hug or shake, or, you know, it had to be like, okay, you know, you got your licks in, whatever. Now, you know, be a man, y'all go kick it. Basically.
Yeah, then they'd be like, now y'all got to hang out together. And it's like, no, I still would like to beat this nigga's ass. I just... Now I gotta go buy candy with this motherfucker.
Hey Bobby, that's what you think, but that's not what you say or do.
Yeah.
No, you're like, all right, man, let's go get some shit. And then he tells you a bunch of shit, and you're like, I don't like none of the shit you saying now either. And now I gotta pretend I like you some more.
Yeah, see, Bobby is a hold the hate type motherfucker. He holds the hate. He does not let the hate go. I'm gonna let anybody that watches our show that, like, if you and Bobby had beef in 2009, I'm gonna let you know right now, nigga, y'all still got beef. Y'all still got beef now.
I'm forgiving. If you got an apology in you, you know what I mean? If I fucked up, I got one for you. Shit. I'm just not gonna let you just roll on back in all apology free. There's no statute of limitations on apology. It's the least. You know what I mean? It's
locked,
the goddamn
but the key
least.
is an apology.
That's really, you know, some heartfelt. You know what I mean? Like, don't come with no bullshit. You over all that bullshit? No, that's not enough. I mean, you gotta go. That's not gonna cut it, my friend. You're still in the doghouse. Come catch me in another decade. See me in the 2030s and see if I like you then. See if I've grown enough. You know what I mean?
I am too forgiving. I do know that about myself. However, it is entirely, there is a caste system of shit, like
of forgiveness.
Yeah,
you got a caste system of forgiveness.
There's things that are unforgivable that I don't give a fuck. If Jesus Christ himself said, hey, you gotta let that go to get into heaven, I like, you know, start the cooker.
Right.
start the cooker, my nigga, because I'm not letting it go. Fuck that dude. There's some shit that's there, and then there's like a bunch of other stuff that, you know, there's varying degrees that you know, apology or make right can happen.
I don't know if Jesus is real or God is real, but if I hope whatever the big entity in the sky is, it punishes whoever this ex-prosecutor was in the Ahmaud Arbery case. That's what I'm I'm really hoping. Allegedly shielding men in the Ahmaud Arbery case. This person's been indicted. Georgia, of course, where everything awesome happens. Jackie Johnson, who is a district attorney in the Brunswick Judicial Court, she violated her oath of office, which is something you do when you're protecting racists usually. That was the Ahmaud Arbery situation was like the thing that actually kicked off a lot of the shit that happened last year, because I remember when we were first, I think you had sent something about that originally to the group, and it was one of those things where it was just like, yeah, man, black people get killed by cops. And then 2 months later, the story started pouring out where they were just like, no, this dude was just like wandering. They weren't cops. They were just guys in the neighborhood that just decided they were going to stop a dude in the street who was looking at a house that was being built, essentially.
Yeah, I think it might have even been an open house. I'm not 100%
sure.
I believe it was an open house, and they were like doing some remodeling and shit like
These
that.
guys
Basically,
rode
other
up in a
people had been
pickup
walking
truck.
up.
These white dudes rode up in a pickup truck on a brother, stopped him from where he was going, cornered him, basically, blocked him in, and then when he tried to fight with one of the guys over leaving him alone, got shotgunned to death.
That's the shit. That's the shit that I don't understand. Not understand. I shouldn't say understand. That shit was heinous as fuck. But the scenario, this makes me think of the same thing with Trayvon Martin, of like the stand your ground rules and stuff like that, because they say, oh well, he got violent. Motherfucker, I got violent after you tried to detain me. You know what I'm saying? Where I think anybody has a right to get violent. Where
the thing that was crazy
tries to detain you.
The thing that was crazy is they didn't press any charges against those guys for like months.
Yeah,
that was the thing that made it crazy. Is that like they had it not become a big story, which it wasn't anywhere for a couple months, and then it wasn't until after it became a big broad story that they finally brought charges.
Well, know what happened? It became a big story. I think it became a story on the internet, and George Floyd happened while it was becoming a big story. The sister Breonna Taylor happened, and then George Floyd happened, I think, a week after Breonna Taylor, and those both happened like a month or maybe 2 months, somewhere in there, 6 weeks, like Ahmaud Arbery. So Ahmaud Arbery was building up, and then Breonna Taylor happened, and then George Floyd happened, and then people were like,
and it was over. Wait, we were just like, this is obviously this is obviously more than is acceptable anymore.
Also, to give
and we're all at home right now because it's COVID.
Yeah, and just to give people at home who maybe didn't follow the Ahmaud Arbery, because just like we gave the timeline, George Floyd kind of overshadowed a lot of everything else that happened, because there were more brothers and sisters that died. They were so cool, like they thought they'd got away with it so much so that they were like chilling at home. They weren't even like lawyered up or anything like that. It wasn't until I can't remember, one of the guys.
Well, that's why this chick is indicted.
Yeah, one of the guys, like, he said something accidentally, or he was getting interviewed, like somebody else interviewed him, and he said something very freely that he shouldn't have said. Like, if he had any sense that he was going to go to jail, he would have never said. He basically confessed,
right,
and said some shit. And the dude was like, "Wait a minute, what? Like, what the fuck did you just say?" And then that's when they started. That was part of what led to the second investigation, because she had basically disregarded it. But I don't know if it was federal prosecutor or just a different DA from someplace. Somebody else started investigating and asked questions. And one of the guys who participated in it just started telling shit because he didn't think he thought they were totally in the right or whatever. And so he just like basically confessed on himself. And it's insane that it takes that much shit for people to get indicted.
I mean, I'm just happy that they got this ex-attorney.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's the shit that be hurting my feelings. like all the rest of it, I'm just like, okay, not surprising. I expected it. Nope, I've seen that too. But when it gets to the point where the motherfucker told on himself because he thought it was cool, that just hurts my feelings that somebody that stupid gets a job like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, when you want to talk about stupid people that get a job, I mean, the grand jury have indicted police officers and paramedics in the 2019 death of Elijah McClain. So another piece of decent news that's moved forward. This happened in Colorado. Randy Rodema and Nathan Woodyard, former officer Jason Rosenblatt, and paramedics Jeremy Cooper and Peter, I'm not going to give a shot to that last name. I'm just going to tell you I would not get it right. They were all indicted on charges of manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. They injected this kid with like a crazy dose of like
Ketamine.
ketamine, right?
Yeah, ketamine.
Which normally isn't enough to kill you on its own, but if you've got other shit going on, it's not awesome. And for sure, if you've never had I'm rather experienced in ketamine, so for me, who knows how that would go, but like.
Okay.
Fucking God.
What's the problem?
There's no problem. There's no problem.
References as you have made. Why would okay come out of your face?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, are we
he's supposed to be the solid one. This is the anchor, nigga. I'm supposed to.
Yeah,
be
this is the anchor for the new days. This is like, see, this is shit you gotta get out of your head, man. This is not NBC, goddammit. We don't do shit by NBC standards. The host has done a shit ton of ketamine. You're gonna deal with it, okay? Not only that, I had a homie that used to work in a fucking veterinary warehouse, and when they got the shipments in, you ordered so much, you got an extra whatever amount on top of that, which is how I got all that ketamine. I had a dude who. So you want to talk about some
allegedly?
No, we're beyond the statute. It's been fucking a long ass. It's been long enough that I can't get in trouble for it. That's how long it's been. I'm not concerned.
Yeah, I still don't trust these motherfuckers. They'll change the law and make it just for everybody but Bobby.
I mean,
you can see through that Texas shit.
Good luck chasing down all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
everybody involved in things that are either done or have gone through RICO and are out by now. So, what's left to get? You know what I mean? Your boy's clean. Yeah, these guys, what the fuck, man? This kid was 143 pounds.
Yeah.
No medical evidence, no nothing, no place to give him this. Kid dies.
Shit like this, I don't understand. Out of all the things, look, fuck it. If you say back the blue, if you say despite all this, you still want to back the blue. I understand the mind frame of somebody, the rationale behind that, because they've been just brainwashed their whole life to believe that the police are good. I can get that. What I don't understand people abiding by is when shit like this happens time and time again, those cities have to pay millions and millions of dollars in lawyer fees to defend this case or to prosecute this shit or to defend these cops or to prosecute these cops. They're paying for it on both sides, right? The county, the city that it happened in. And in addition to that, they always end up paying out these massive, and they just keep getting bigger, these massive fucking settlements to families, and it's just fucking up city budgets. Like the city budget of it alone should give them some kind of incentive to change this shit and look at it and just say, hey, you fuckers are costing us $20 million.
Right.
Multiple times a year. Like what thing that happens in a major city that just pops off where a city worker just fucks up and costs the city $20 million, and fuck up is being too small. Is being too small about what we're talking about.
Yeah,
we're talking about ending somebody's life.
Human life.
But I'm
right?
just saying, if a city worker made an error that cost the city $20 million, how the fuck does that city worker keep its job? Keep its fucking job?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How does that city worker get defended? How does that city worker get? Like what the fuck?
Yeah. It's
Not only do you get defended, you get bonded. When I started working at the jail, I was bonded. Now I don't know how long the bond lasted, but I was, meaning that if somebody sued me, they would pay for it.
Yeah.
And it was up to a certain amount. Like,
yeah.
wait, check this out. This is the other thing you got to think about. For every one of those that you hear about that's 2 million or 3 million or 7 million, it's a whole heap of them that's 5,000, 17,000, 6,000, you know what I'm saying? That you don't ever hear about.
Yeah, somebody just got their jaw busted, so they got 15,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a crazy. Here's the thing though, is like at least there's some steps towards getting some justice out of the thing. You know what I mean? Like those are horrible things.
So wait, I have another question. This is just my fiduciary mind thinking. How the fuck are you guys bonded when cops keep losing? Like, are cops winning any of these motherfucking cases these days?
I'm sure. There's too many cases not to resolve them.
Yeah, I understand 20 years, 30 years ago, that I get. That was a different time. I'm talking about now. For just a fiduciary position, what insurance is backing these motherfuckers right now? Because it just doesn't seem like that's if you're bonded,
it depends on what
they're paying part of that, and they're paying part of that. Like the city is insured. That would explain why they'd be okay with paying out these fucking outrageous.
I mean, it just
settlements.
becomes a situation of what laws people are fighting for. But I would have no idea. I would have no idea what levy would be going through that.
I'm sorry, no, we got to move on.
Yeah. There's a situation going on in Chicago right now. This whole mask thing is still a big deal. COVID is still around, obviously. A lot of places aren't booking shows even at the moment in certain places just because they're not sure what's going on the comedy side of things.
Comedy, music, entertainment.
There's a lot of questions. I mean, we had a show that got canceled that's supposed to be next week that people are just concerned about what's going on. Largely,
it'll be next Friday.
Largely, this issue is because people are not getting vaccinated. It's the only reason there is a Delta variant is because so few people got vaccinated in the first place.
Although we would have never got that. I think the Delta variant would have happened regardless.
Absolutely.
But the Delta variant wouldn't have advanced.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, well, had we been actually altruistic and just gotten out the shit to everybody on the globe, on a global scale, had we been like, no, everybody gets the vaccine, duh, you know what I mean? Like, we're giving it to everybody. We're not holding anybody back. Then, like, the chances for the Delta variant would have been diminished. Yeah. But, like, the way we've done it, for sure there's going to be a Delta variant. We could have slowed its chances to get here by more people getting vaccinated, but now there's a situation where everybody's having that. And so masks are a big deal. There are bus drivers in Chicago who are quitting over the idea of having to wear masks.
I'm being 100. I did not know Chicago had city buses.
Yeah, there's still some.
I mean, not city buses. I mean, school buses.
Yeah, there's still school buses in the city.
My
that
kid
get
takes
around.
the fucking L.
I mean, I always took that. I took public transportation going to school.
My kid takes the L.
But yeah, there are CPS city buses. There's 73 drivers who believe to resigned over vaccine requirements.
I bet you they was all black too.
They had to be.
They have 770 drivers. They're 500 drivers short of what they need.
You know, when people say the city of Chicago is very segregated, what a lot of people may not know, it is very segregated in its work sector. Yeah. Meaning, like, cops in Chicago, you're Irish. There's quite a few black cops, but there's mostly Irish and Polish cats. City workers, same. But unless you work downtown in the office, black. I don't know why, but the entire city of Chicago is run by black women.
Yep. Yeah, I don't like. It's either black
if you
women.
Need something done in the city of Chicago, it's a sister that's probably getting it done.
It's black women or it's old white women who still have an accent from whatever country they came from.
Yes.
Those are the only. It's never like a young lady with like. Sometimes it'll be a young lady with the accent, but her mom also works there.
Italians and Irish own all the bars.
Like, if you go into City Hall, that's all you're going to run into. You run into black ladies of all different ages, and then you run into old ladies with accents from various countries, and then occasionally you'll catch, like, a younger lady with one of them accents, but her mom also is, like, she's been there a long time, and that's why she works there. Yeah, it's...
but city bus drivers, black.
City bus drivers.
But black.
CTA, black. There's not a lot of white CTA bus drivers running around. No.
You ever notice any of the stuff I'm saying, James?
Oh yeah. I didn't want to say anything.
I know. Yeah. Dude, but it's so crazy.
Yeah, how many 30-year-old white guys are telling you what the next L stop is? You know what I mean? Like, absolutely zero. Zero guys are telling you 95th Street is the next stop on the red line. Zero of them are. There are no 28-year-old guys named Todd Van Trousen who are fucking on the L telling you that the next stop is 95th Street.
Man,
I used to date a chick that was a younger black chick that worked in City Hall. And I know now exactly what you're talking about. I have a lot of interactions with City Hall. And I was thinking, like, it's a whole lot of sisters in here with houndstooth skirts.
Yes. And they all wear gym shoes. They all wear, like, gym shoes to the L.
They wear gym shoes to the L
and
change over.
Houndstooth skirts and stuff like that. Yeah, dude. It's definitely, like, a type. But I there's no point in getting to those stories. But I had to get some shit through the City Hall that was very, very hard to get. Like, multiple people told me, man, it's going to take you forever to get that. And I sweet talk is strong. It was sweet talk. I was just very polite and explained the desperateness of my situation to an older sister, and she was literally like, don't worry about it, baby, I got you. And she did like a couple things, and when I got there, somebody's like, that's who you is, and
this is the benefit of having that in a place like that, is because you know when you're dealing with with black women with that situation who are working in those places, like it's perfect because when you are sweet and polite, you can get the help. They will help you. But also, if you are not sweet and polite, you might as well set yourself on fire in the fucking room because she will send you away and you'll feel bad about it. And you'll wish you could tell somebody, but her boss is just another lady who is doing that to motherfuckers like you before you got there. So,
her boss is the worst version of her.
Hey, fuck you if you can't be sweet. You deserve to be unpleased and unhappy and go home.
Speaking of unsweet right now, there is a situation going on in the school systems literally across the country. I mean, school system after school system about mask mandates in schools for kids. I'm so glad to have a kid who is like, I'll wear a mask.
Yeah.
I would also go to school from home. I did fine she's like, I did fine from there. I would be fine, but they are first of all, this is I want to be clear. This is a minority of people. What's up?
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's funny. My son did. His grades were better. He was chilling at crib. He was literally playing video games in between classes
and did better, right?
And did better, right?
So did my kid.
I kept telling him, say, hey man, I'm trying to explain to you this is what college is like. You spend most of your time in your dorm chilling.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna be sitting in class all day like you do in high school.
Especially now with the access to all the information. Like when I was in college, like you still had to get to the library to look shit up. And like now it's like, no, the library is here. I got the library in front of me, dog.
So mind you, he did better, was playing video games and eating snacks and shit all day.
Yep.
He was like, no, man, I want to go back to school. I was like, really? I was like kind of shocked, and I realized ain't no girls.
There's no girls at the crib.
Ain't no girl at the
See,
crib.
that's my type of masculine. That is my kind of masculine, though. I respect that, and I understand it. That concept of like, I don't want to hang out where there's just me or just me and you.
And,
no.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'm very happy though because the kid next door, there's not twins. They're like, what do you call them? Irish twins, like 9 months apart. But they're in the same class. Are my next door neighbors. And they have a bunch of friends, and she has like literally she'll have like 5 or 6 young ladies his age just pop up over there, and he is the coolest kid in the neighborhood. My next door neighbor, I don't want to tell too many stories about him. Kid might actually watch the show if he does. What's up, little dude? He's been literally, dude's been cool since he was like 7. When he was 7, he was telling teenage kids.
What is the story you're telling us about this kid?
My point. Here's the point. This is my point to tell you this. Listen, this is my point to tell you this.
The backstory you're giving on this kid is like
my backstory is to say I am happy that my son is back in school and not hanging out there because there's literally a teenage orgy next door every fucking day. Every fucking day, and his tall ass would be down there. And so I'm very happy that he's
Why are you
back
trying to
to
discourage your son's orgies, man? Here's where the problem is.
It's just season 18.
The problem is that in the meantime, in places like Florida where people are going crazy, 2 schools have been shut down because they've been overwhelmed by COVID, which I'm not laughing at the fact that I'm laughing at the idiocy. I'm laughing at the the refusal to go, you know what? We're just going to do the thing. Right,
so
like
I wonder. I don't know. I never looked up, but I wonder if there's any polling on. I can't remember which governor it was. I think it was Missouri or Arkansas, one of the two. He reversed his position. He said he wished he hadn't signed the mask.
That was the Arkansas guy. That guy was late though. I'm talking about like right now.
I just want to know, did he lose any ground? Because I'm trying to figure out. What is the point of the Texas and Florida dude? Are they playing like a game of chicken with each other just to see who could be the biggest idiot? At this point, you have been statistically proven wrong.
I will tell you exactly.
And you're sticking to the guns.
I will tell you exactly what. James, when you have a second, can you look up how much Regeneron has donated to Ron DeSantis' campaign?
Oh wow.
Now, Regeneron is the monoclonal antibody shit that you take after you get sick. So, like, obviously, if you get a vaccine, then the odds that you'll need Regeneron is not high.
Not high at all.
Yeah,
but if you're not taking the vaccine,
you're gonna need that shit.
Then Regeneron you would need.
It is according to the Associated Press filings with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission show Citadel, a Chicago-based hedge fund, has 15.9 million in shares of Regeneron. And they donated $10.75 million to a political committee that supports DeSantis. He also donated $5.75 million in 2018 and $5 million last April. So
$30 million total.
Over $21 million.
Over $21 million donated to Ron DeSantis in some way, shape, or form. So, like, you know, this is what and I'm sure Abbott probably has some donations from Regeneron as well. So, like, why would you want your people to take the vaccine when you can just let them get sick? And then, you know,
hey, it's perfectly fine. They gonna give a little bit of Regeneron. They'll get well just fine, and you know, blah blah blah. And not talking about the motherfuckers that die,
right?
And not talking about the fact that other people get long haul COVID.
Well, you said Texas, which is important like because a Waco school has also canceled classes after 2 teachers died of COVID in the same week. So, like, you know, I don't. And it's wild like because they're still begging.
They're talking about shit. People are so fucking stupid. They're talking about, I don't want my kid to wear a mask. It's traumatizing. What the fuck is wrong with your kid? Most kids want to wear masks, like especially like young kids. Like high school kids don't give a fuck.
Hey, do you think it's more traumatizing to wear a mask or to have 2 of your teachers die in the same week?
That's what I'm talking about, man. Like that, like. These motherfuckers are talking about, I literally, there's a thing going around now where people are talking about, there's a study that says children learn communications by facial expressions. Like, duh. Okay, they still going to have that at home with you. You're not wearing a mask around the fucking house.
Right.
So just because they don't get the facial expressions from everybody immediately at school for a temporary purpose to save them, to protect themselves, that's just fucking moronic, man.
Yeah.
People are just fucking morons about this shit.
I hate to point to the obvious once again.
Oh, we're gonna point to it again here in a minute. So
is capitalism.
It is. It absolutely
is. This is capitalism. This is what it breeds. This motherfucker knew that the damn. Well, first of all, if you did the vaccine shit, I could be touring right now and make a little bit of money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But since you can't do that shit, I can't get no motherfucking dates. This is how it's affecting me personally. but in a grand scale, you killing people so you can sell a cure that ain't really a cure. It's just a treatment.
Right.
You had a better chance if you'd have took the fucking shot, and you motherfuckers would rather take worm.
And that's what we talked about last week. Is that their studies have been showing that it's, you know, the vaccine, you're safer than if you roll your dice with COVID is essentially what they came up with.
In every single metrics, in every way possible that you can look at it, taking your chance versus COVID, during Regeneron, all this stuff, you're safer if you take the fucking vaccine.
Here's how bad it's getting, though.
This is a blowout.
Here's how bad it's getting, though, is that like now at school boards, they're like, you know, I mean, did you ever interact with your school board? Did you ever like see the school board in action?
Never once.
My mom was on my I went to Catholic school for 4 years, and my mom was on that school board, and so like I went to like some PTA type shit and some seen like they're just some parents and some other people who are local who are trying to like figure out the right decisions to make for the, you know what I mean, like just basic shit and safety. And there's people who are quitting school boards all across the country because they're getting death threats over saying that they should wear masks in the fucking school. Like in Wisconsin, there's fucking people quitting the school boards.
I just realized part of this shit is everybody getting their fucking 15 minutes of fame. Because that bitch right there that we have on screen right now, screaming at stuff, she's on a national fucking cover. Right. And she's proud of it because she thinks she's right.
I have worked very hard to hold back.
I would be embarrassed as fuck.
I do this cover art every week, which is basically some picture I find from the week that I think is like, wow, that looks like a cool thing. It's a decent representation of like where I'm feeling about the week or whatever, and I use that for our cover art every week. And I've been very reluctant to put up any pictures that are involving these people at these mask mandate things. Like the 2 pictures I've been avoiding are any pictures that are neat looking, but I'm not putting them up of like the Taliban and like U.S. shit. You know, like here's a picture of the Taliban riding around a U.S. helicopter. It's like, I'm not doing that. That's not going to be the cover art for our shit. And also these crazy people at these fucking meetings who are yelling out insane shit.
By the way, I just want to point clarification. There has been no Taliban riding around in U.S. helicopters. Those photos were faked.
Right.
The U.S. disabled all their shit.
Yes, I know. I was being wild, but you know what I mean.
No, there were like shit that people were having to do.
Well, there was a claim where some dude had gotten hung out of a helicopter that was debunked, but they were still rolling with it because, you know, they were going for the story. Speaking of a crazy story, I think it's vasectomy time, boys. I'm gonna get this vasectomy. I'm getting the vasectomy as soon as possible because this shit that happened in Texas, this law that they started down there that have now basically banned abortions past 6 weeks. I'm not fucking around, y'all. I'm not trying to be in a situation in which I'm, out there doing the thing, slanging the D, and fuck around. And
I do not disagree with you.
Pull out a 6-weeker, you know what I mean?
I 100% believe that this law is bullshit. I'm going to say something contrary, though, just from one simple thing. I do not have any idea how the fuck you could sue somebody. Here's a flaw that I haven't heard anybody talk about yet. I'm not a lawyer, but HIPAA. Your medical records are private. A judge can't even force you.
Once you tell somebody that you've got an abortion, though, you've given up.
Why would you tell anybody?
Well, that's the thing. So someone would have to be able to prove. Like, so, Rob, do you understand how this law works?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't tell anybody.
Well, if you don't tell anybody, then there's nobody to sue you. So how would someone sue you?
That's my point. So
here's what happens. Here's what exactly happens. This is how raw this bullshit is. They go to the parking lot of the clinic and put up lights, and they monitor you going in.
Okay.
And then when you come out, you coming out of there.
But
maybe
that's
for that, maybe
okay. That's
not.
okay. I understand that. That's what I thought they were doing. I knew that part. But my point is, how can they prove that you had an abortion? Your private records are your private records. Turning those records over would basically be like even though this is a civil thing, I still think you have a Fifth Amendment right, and even in a civil pending, you have a right. Like you don't have somebody can't sue you and say prove your DNA that you're 45% African American. Like somebody can't just randomly sue you for that. So that someone is basically suing you for your medical records. I don't understand how that could be possible. That's the hole that I feel like there is.
The point of the law is not to be enforced.
Right.
The point of the law is to spark the bullshit of dragging it through the courts.
The point
of the law is to slow down so that nobody could get the shit done, at least for this time.
Because you understand
how it's going to be pricey because you got to fight the fucking lawsuits.
Do you understand
They're going to lose the lawsuit every time. Do you understand how crazy
the law is? Do you understand how the lawsuit works? How the law works? It's different than any other law they've tried to pass like this. Because
they made it civil.
Instead, well, not just that. Like, so nobody who's in a position in government is allowed to go after this, right? Like the attorney general of the state can't go he can't be like, oh, you broke the 6-week ban. The law literally deputizes anyone on the planet.
Yeah.
Anyone on the planet who is aware of someone from Texas getting an abortion past 6 weeks can sue that person and anyone they know of involved if they somehow find out that information.
And that's what I'm saying is.
So the question is, what's the somehow? What's the proof of the somehow?
Like I went to the dentist today. What happened at the dentist today is private. Like unless even the fact I can say I went to the dentist, that doesn't mean I've given up the privacy of what happened at the dentist.
My brother, you are you. What if somebody else walk up to you as a woman in the world by yourself, knowing how women are treated, and they tell you this shit? And this is what's gonna happen. Because just like any other arrest, bro, you don't have to be right. You just got to detain, right?
Right.
And so if you put out a bunch of vigilantes that don't understand what they doing anyway, you're going to get people that's going to get fucked over.
Well, here's the biggest...
So rather than get fucked over, people go somewhere else.
Well, also, you have to remember who this is targeting, right? Because rich people are never going to have a problem getting an abortion if they need one, right? So you're preying on the fact that there's going to be... You're preying on poor people, and people are lacking in intelligence, right? And so, like... Your hope is that someone isn't going to be able to figure that unless that loophole is covered somewhere, and I haven't read about it. If that loophole is a thing that exists, you're just hoping that no one's going to do that. And already, clinics have already said they're not 6 weeks is the cutoff. Sorry, that's it. Until somebody figures it out, they're not fucking with it.
Yeah,
because they're not going to risk. Yeah, they're not going to risk getting sued for any of it. You know what I mean? Your Uber driver can get sued. Here's one of the crazy.
Somebody like you could get sued. Like if
someone comes to me and goes, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting an abortion," I go, and they go, "Yeah, but I'm 10 weeks along," and I go, "Yeah, you should go for it." I could get sued.
Yeah. Or if you even if
for $10,000 minimum.
I think if you didn't like actively discourage her, it's like it's crazy. It's fucking insane.
You know what's very crazy about this is
but the trigger on this, the part that slows people down is you have to, if you're the person being sued, these are like frivolous, stupid ass lawsuits. You would think you could ignore them. Obviously, if you ignore them, then you end up having a default judgment against you.
Right.
So you have to at least try to fight it. But
it's going to cost you money.
It's going to cost you money. I think seriously, there needs to be the fund where the money needs to go. The funding. Biden is suggesting, the Biden administration is looking into. They're going to, I'm not sure if I'm using the language right when I say deputize, but they're going to send in a bunch of federally backed doctors that under not just HIPAA, but then they're also protected under the same shit that police officers are protected of, qualified immunity.
Sure.
And so because of qualified immunity and HIPAA, they can perform the abortions and they're not affected by the Texas law.
Interesting.
But he hasn't done it yet. They're looking in to make sure that that these people are going to be protected.
Here's a real wild thing is, so like now that they've, because the issue with this law is they've structured it is there's nobody to sue really. They can't figure out who to sue. If you want to stop this law from taking place, if you want to stop the people from being able to create these lawsuits, you used to be able to sue the attorney general or the state of, or there's nobody to find to sue to get them to stop this law from happening.
Is anybody?
Wait, here's the key though. So like this could also happen in blue states. If you can't get anything done with the Second Amendment, you could also put a ban on holding guns of a certain style or capacity or capability, and then deputize everybody in the state to be able to bring a civil suit towards anyone who owns a gun of a certain size, magazine, capacity, or what have you.
I like that.
I'm not suggesting that's a good idea. I think all this is a terrible idea. No, I think the whole concept is dumb. I'm just saying that once you make a nuclear bomb, you don't go, well, we made that one, we're not going to make any more of those, and definitely no other places are going to try and make them. No, once you make a nuclear bomb, everybody tries to make a nuclear bomb.
That's why I don't believe they went to the moon, because if they went once, they wouldn't stop going. They brought that shit back here and been selling like weed.
We got about 10 minutes left, so I want to talk about some more entertaining style shit before we get out of here. There was a football game that went on. High school football has started, and if you've paid any attention to this show, I don't watch football anymore. I will catch highlights because I can't stay away from SportsCenter. But last Sunday, a high school football game showed a very well-known program, a school called IMG Academy, which produces a bunch of great athletes.
In football and basketball.
And
baseball.
They played a squad in Ohio that is known as Bishop Sycamore. It was 58-0 at the end. This team apparently, so like this new thing in high school sports is trying to create these academies where either they have a school program a scholastic program that goes along with it, or the kid goes to school at a local school and then goes and plays the sport every day.
Not that new though. They had the motherfuckers when I played.
Sure, but I mean like the prevalence of them, right? Because like if you were a tennis player, you go down to Florida, you go to the Bradenton Tennis Academy at like 12 years old or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happens in Europe and overseas. They do that. That's how that happens. If you're a prodigy or whatever, they put you in a fucking thing and you go to school. But like
they were like
you're going to a school that's focused on making you the athlete you're supposed to be, right?
There were at least 2 16-year-olds on my team in Sweden.
Yeah. So this school, this Bishop Sycamore, is a fairly new school, and apparently they weren't honest about the quality of school that they were.
They're not even a school.
Yeah, they're not even.
The fucking dudes aren't even in high school. They were like JUCO. They were like junior college.
Yeah, they like
18, 19-year-old motherfuckers that got mollywopped by high school kids.
They like lied their way into a game on ESPN, which I think is hilarious.
This ain't what you want.
They said all they did was tell ESPN that they had some Division I prospects. And the dudes, the crazy shit is, I didn't watch the game, but I heard you hear the announcers are like, they told us they had some Division I prospects. We have not seen anything of the sort. Or something to that effect. Like they even said some shit like, at this point you're just worried about their health and safety. And the way they was getting beat down. But like motherfucker, it's high school kids playing football. I don't fuck, health and safety was already already gone, man.
Would you like the most hilarious news I think I found of the week?
What's that?
Mike Richards, the guy who is the executive producer for Jeopardy, and he worked on Wheel of Fortune, I think on Price is Right, and he was originally supposed to be the host of he named himself as the host of Jeopardy. Along with Mayim Bialik. He's like, listen, I'm a feminist. We'll get her to host the specials in the Sunday nights and shit like that.
Dick Cheney that shit.
He Dick Cheney that shit. And so Mike Richards, and then he backed off. He goes, I'm not going to host it. And then the people that were in Jeopardy were like, actually, how about you get the fuck out totally? He is gone. He's all the way fired. He is no longer...
Man, life comes at you fast, bro. Life comes at you fast.
All this dude had to do was pick somebody who was not him, and there'd have been no noise.
You know what really fucked
There'd have been no noise.
You
So I think it should be LeVar Burton. He could have picked any one of the motherfuckers who came in there. He could pick Ken Jennings. It could have been anything, and there'd have been nothing. Nobody would have said a word, and this dude would still be employed today.
So here's the deal. When the shit first happened, stuff came out about him doing stuff when he was on The Price is Right, like some sexual harassment shit, right?
Yeah.
And that shit didn't kill him. You know what I think killed him? When it came out that they didn't take LeVar Burton's audition seriously. Like that they weren't actually like literally, it was like that shit came out on a Tuesday, and that nigga was fired Wednesday night.
We're like, we got to do better than this, show. We got to do.
Yeah. When everybody found out, I was like, wait a second, y'all didn't take Reading Rainbow seriously? Get the fuck, no.
We were talking a little about masks and COVID earlier in Texas and their laws. Comedian Joe Rogan has announced that he has COVID. And almost as wild as him announcing that he's got COVID, almost as wild as him announcing that he's taken ivermectin and monoclonal antibodies. He said he's taken everything except the shit the funniest thing is watching all of these grown adult men who feel like it is their vital need in life to make sure they defend a guy who probably could fucking kick harder than any of them. Probably most of them combined. You know what I mean? Joe Rogan can defend himself just fine.
Some kick Carlos Mencia's ass. So
it's just listen. He's in Texas where he moved as this whole thing was going on. Where a lot of I made the statement a while ago where people were like, a lot of comics are moving to Austin. I was like, not niggas ain't moving to Austin. Like, a lot of comics are moving to Nashville. Not black people. We're not moving to Nashville.
I was just there, and I can tell you, yes, there's a reason why we are not moving there.
Right.
It is liberal white people that's.
And here's the thing, I am not, and I'm a person who was a big Joe Rogan fan at one point. I do.
Me too, man, because he was great.
And here's the thing,
radio.
and I still enjoy Joe Rogan. Like, I've enjoyed Joe Rogan's comedy up to a point. And I'm not an anti-Joe Rogan guy, but I'm also someone who looks at him and goes, why would I not think this guy is down with like either being right-wing shit, or he's a guy who is so above, like he's in a position where he can stir up shit and it doesn't matter to him because he's not going to get affected by it, and that's fine. But like, I'm not going to pretend he's something different than that.
He's the definition of privilege, and privilege that he doesn't get it because he just puts this shit out in the universe.
Yes.
And doesn't do any like follow up or give any counter to it, and then he doesn't own it. He's like, "Well, it's not my opinion. It's just this is."
I'm just an idiot guy. I'm just an idiot dumb guy.
Yeah, it's like, motherfucker, you're an idiot guy that
sharing
has
opinions
of a megaphone, and you're just launching shit out in the universe without any. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you did that shit, and then you like the next episode, you had the counterpoint on to say, "Hey, everything on last week's episode was bullshit," or "Here's what was bullshit and here's what was real." That might be something. Or even if he did it in one show where there was like not an argument, but maybe both sides got to speak their mind.
The tough part for me is he keeps putting like Alex Jones on and shit like that. And while Alex Jones is entertaining when you fully know better, like, I'm not gonna lie that like watching him go on his maniacal shit is like,
when he's like crazy.
And Jordan Holmes and
Alex Jones and the guy who does the financial thing where he has like all the different bells and whistles and shit. I can't think of his name. Kramer.
Mad Money? Mad Money?
Yeah, Mad Money. That's the same show.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking with you.
One's about economics and one's about...
Yeah, it's the same show except for
FEMA coming away to put your kids in camps.
Yeah. He's just talking about batshit crazy shit, but that's basically the same fucking show.
They've created all these natural emergencies.
And they're both bullshit.
Put your kids away in camps.
Kramer's not that bad.
They're going to put on railway cars, make them slaves.
I disagree with a lot of his shit, but he's not that bad.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
All these lizard people.
I just think like for me when I just think like he's what America wants.
Right.
He's what America wants.
Yeah.
And so since that's the case, congratulations, you get what you get. That's why you out here taking worm medicine. You dig what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing, and I want to be I want to be real. There is ivermectin is a thing that is also used on human beings.
Yeah.
It's prescribed by a doctor, though. It's not something you just go to your local feed store and pick up.
Here's the thing: there was a study early on that said the ivermectin was effective. That study has since, after they do everybody talks about peer review, the early peer reviews were okay. The later ones were like, actually, this study is trash. It didn't. I forgot. I don't think they used a proper blind or something like that. I'm not a scientist, but they did not follow proper procedures. So they said the results were questionable, and there hasn't been anything following up. And people just keep holding on to that shit from like last summer, like this time last year is when that shit came out. And like, how the fuck do you not understand how science works? That anything that you heard last summer and there's not been any follow up to has nothing to do with what's happening right now.
Yeah.
With this virus, like it's a whole different fucking virus happening right now. So even if ivermectin was effective on the original COVID, it doesn't mean it has any effect on Delta.
Wear a mask, get vaccinated. XL, where you gonna be at this week, man?
I got some shit coming up. I can't think of it, but I'll be at Chop House, Zach Ryo's show in 2 weeks. So that's gonna be dope.
Whose show?
Zach Ryan.
Zach O'Ryan. You
Zach
said
O'Ryan.
Zach Ryo.
Zach O'Ryan. Zach O'Ryan. Yeah.
Rob, what about you, man? What's up, dog?
At XO Comedy.
You can catch me on all social media. Robert_L_Hines. And I'm not gonna mess nothing up this week.
Oh man, it's about to be live, man. I'm digging deep into Chicago. Find out where I'm going to be at Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. Get to itsbobbyhill.com. Find the podcast at New OG's Pod.
Subscribe.
Go check out old episodes. Subscribe, like, share the motherfucker. Share that you are watching it. Let some other people know. Get over to People of Comedy and People of Comedy Network on Twitter and Instagram. Check out their great shows. Go to standup.net and find out when they got something going on.
Damn, that gunshot scared the fuck
Be
out of me.
there, motherfucker.
That felt that shit in my bones, dude.
We'll catch y'all next week, or maybe a bonus episode sometime.
Hey,
we got
Bub,
so
tell
much
your
we get
homegirls
to.
to watch it too.
That's right.
Shout
That's
out
what's up.
Rachel Nichols. They fucked
Rachel
you.
Nichols, love shout outs. That's what's up.
Can't find so many better than me. All about getting cheddar indeed. While mozzarella parmesan cheese. Say you ballin', but not in my league. Say you ballin', but not in my league. Yeah, whole lot of niggas changed since we came up. They could try to steal the moves, but they ain't us. Think you gang, but nigga, you a stranger. Bitches wanna fuck, but nigga, you can't blame us.
$100.